Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Apocalyptic Shakespeare production of Macbeth. We're so happy that you've joined us tonight. The show begins with Where Shall We Meet Again? Well, tonight we meet on Zoom for this live production of Macbeth. We're so happy to have you with us. If you like what you see during this live production, please join us again on October 31st, Halloween, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we will be doing a premiere. That YouTube will remain online for others to see, so please do share it with your friends. At the end of today's show, we'll have a short talk back, so we invite you to please stick around and ask any questions that you may have. And with that, without further ado, please enjoy Macbeth.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
I come, grey Malkin.
Paddock calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul.
And foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt the newest state.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
No sooner justice had with valor armed compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo?
As cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe. But I am faint, my gashes cry for help.
So well thy wounds become thee as thy words. But who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict. Till that Bellona's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point rebellious, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness! No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth. What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Aroint thee, witch, the rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger, but in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other. I will drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a sailor's thumb, racked as homeward he did come.
Drum, a drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand.
Posters of the sea and land.
Thus do go about.
Thrice to thine and thrice to mine.
And thrice again to make up 9.
Peace. The charm's wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is it called to Forres? What are these so withered and so wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth?
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth, though thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope. If he seems rapt withal, to me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail.
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 Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman. And to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence. Speak, I charge you.
Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as a breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
To the same tune and words. Who's here?
King hath happily received Macbeth the news of thy success.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks.
And for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What can the devil speak so true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives.
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose?
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown. Besides the Thane of Cawdor, cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature?
Look how our curtains are wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
A worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Fine gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance.
There's no act to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than I can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness' part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our state upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name here after the Prince of Cumberland. To Inverness!
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or leap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires.
True, worthy Banquo. He is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Well, let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him?
Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not what wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by thee all hereafter.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpents under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet, does approve, by his loved masonry, that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. no jutty frieze buttress, nor coign of vantage, but his bird hath made his prendent bed and procreant cradle, where they most breed and haunt. I have observed, the air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them. We rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels, and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath holp him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight. Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces toward him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done, when 'tis done, 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I'm his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cats in the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man, who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked the nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, where to the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him? His two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the water of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipts of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures do lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False-faced must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12. Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way into repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
Oh, what, sir, not yet at rest? The king's abed. This diamond he greets your wife withal, by the name of most kind hostess. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business.
At your kindest leisure, I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Go bid thy mistress when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle towards my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as that which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way I was going. Such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the 1/2 world nature seems dead. Wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds, too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I am afraid they have awaked and 'tis not done. I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say, a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and address them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and Amen. The other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. Listening their fears, I could not say Amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce Amen? I had much need of blessing, and Amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms with all, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is with me when every noise appalls me?
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. Hark, more knocking.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking, I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? In the name of Beelzebub. Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins enow about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock. Who's there? In the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator that could swear in both scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet cannot equivocate himself to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator! Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, here is an English tailor come hither, for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, knock, never act quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let some of all professions that go to the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon, I pray you. Remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed that you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things.
What three things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him, and it mars him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie.
Is thy master stirring? Oh, our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Morrow, noble sir.
Morrow both?
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly where we lay. Our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamenting heard in the air. strange screams of death, was feverish and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remember parallel a fellow too.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
Well, how is you say? The life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell, murder and treason! Shake off thy downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look upon death itself. Up, up, and see!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak.
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Woe, alas. What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I'd have lived a blessed time. For from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done't. Their hands and faces were hatched with blood. So were their daggers, which on white we found upon their pillows.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal, and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outrun the pauser reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make loves known?
Help me hence. Oh,
look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate hidden in augur hole may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady, and when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer an exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
What will you do? To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself, when there's no mercy left.
70 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange, but this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good father, thou seest, the heavens as troubled with man's act threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp. And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out contending against obedience, as they would war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon't. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas the day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still. And 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colmkill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu. Lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird women promised, and I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it has been as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice in this day's council, but we'll take it tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a bower of the night for a dark hour of twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland. Hie you to horse. Adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord, the time calls upon me.
I wish your house is swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night, to make society till supper time alone. Well then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which must be feared. He chid the sisters when they first put name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my gripe. For Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered. Only for them, and mine eternal jewel, given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door and stay till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well then now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in times past which held you our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you, how you were born in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion crazed say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospeled to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men. I will put that business in your bosoms whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health, but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my lie on any chance, to mend it or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True,
my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, but wail his fall, who I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirit shines through you. Within this hour, at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, the moment on't, for it must be done tonight. Fleance, his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I will call upon you straight. Abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Knots had, all spent. Where our desire is got without content, 'tis safer to be which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come on. Gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks, be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. And so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his faience lives.
But in them nature's copies not etern.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums, hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do toward the direction just.
Then stand with us.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give us a light there, ho!
His horses go about.
A light, a light!
'Tis he. Stand to it.
There will be rain tonight.
Let it come down!
Oh, treachery! Flying and flying! Flying! Oh, slay!
Who did strike out the light?
That's not the way.
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Your majesty.
Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends.
See, they encountered thee with their hearts' thanks. Be large in mirth. There's blood on thy face.
His Banquo's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance.
Most royal sir, Fleance has escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in the saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides with 20 treasured gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My lord, my royal lord, you do not give the cheer 'tis given with welcome.
Sweet remembrancer.
May't please your highness sit.
Here had we now our country's honor roofed with the graced person of our Banquo.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. pleased your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that, your highness?
Which of you has done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seats, feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is a very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts impasses to true fear would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire. You look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold. Look, how say you?
What quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame.
Blood hath been shed ere now. In the olden time, ere human statute purged the gentle wheel. Aye, and since too. Murders have been performed too terrible for the ear. The times have been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here.
Our duties and the pledge.
And the pledge.
Come forth and quit my sight!
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other.
Unreal mockery, hence! Why? So, being gone, I am a man again. I pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, that when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood. They say blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning. Which is which?
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it, by the way. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak. For now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood, stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as gore. Strange things I have in head that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, we'll to sleep. We are yet but young indeed.
Why, how now, Hecate? You look angerly.
Have I not reason, beldams as you are, saucy and overbold? How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art? And, which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone, and at the pit of Acheron meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled by magic sleights shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear he hopes both wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark, I'm called. My little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me.
Come, let us make haste. She'll soon be back again.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom, you may say, if to please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. But peace, for from broaden words and cause he failed his presence at the tyrant's feast. I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward. And this report hath so exasperate the king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute "Sir, not I," the cloudy messenger turns his back, and hums as who should say, "You rue the time that clogs me with this answer."
And that what might advise him to a caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this, our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw.
Double, double, toil and trouble.
Toil and trouble.
Double toil and trouble.
Fire burn and
Fire
cauldron
burn
bubble.
and cauldron bubble.
And cauldron bubble. Fillet of a finny snake. Fire burn and cauldron bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog. Wool of bat and tongue of dog.
Double, double,
Double,
toil
double,
and
toil
trouble.
and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron
burn and cauldron bubble.
And cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf of the ravened salt sea shark, root of hemlock deep in the dark. Add thereto a tiger's chaldron for the ingredients of our cauldron. Double, double,
Double, toil and trouble.
Toil and trouble.
Fire burn and cauldron.
Burn
Fire
and
burn
cauldron
and
bubble.
cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good. By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hag? What is it you do?
A deed without a name.
Without a name.
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, But that which you profess, however you come to know it, answer me.
Speak.
Demand.
Will answer.
Say if thou'dst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
High or low.
High or low.
Come high or low.
Thyself and office deftly show.
Deftly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
Knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear you.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live. What is this that rises like the issue of a king and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen.
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 But speak not to it.
Not to it.
Speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Birnam wood to Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
Well, that shall never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Sweet bodements, good! Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek.
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 To know no more.
More.
To know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show.
Show.
Show. Show his eyes.
Show his eyes.
Show his eyes.
And grieve his heart.
Grieve his heart.
And grieve his heart.
Come like shadows.
Come like shadows.
Come like shadows.
So depart.
So depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-bound brow, is like the first. A third is like the former. Filthy hags! What, will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a 7th! I'll see no more. And yet an 8th appears, who bears a glass, which shows me many more. And some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters carry. Horrible sight! Now I see 'tis true. For the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights, that this great king may kindly say our duties did his welcome say.
Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it came by?
2 or 3, my lord, bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Time, thou anticipateth my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom! To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles, from whence himself does fly? He loves us not.
My dearest coz, I pray you, school yourself. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Now God help thee, my poor son. But how wilt thou do for a father?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they. My father is not dead for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speaks with all thy wit, and yet, in faith, with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Aye, that he was. Everyone that does so is a traitor, and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest man.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers, to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, my poor dear son. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it would be a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor Platter, how thou talks!
Bless you, fair dame, I am not to you known. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not here. Hence, hence with you little ones. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm, but I do remember now. I am in this earthly world where to do harm is often laudable. To do good sometimes accounted dangerous folly. But alas, do I put up womanly defense to say I have done no harm? What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsignificant, where such as thou may find us him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-haired villain!
What, you egg?
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Each new morn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland, and yelled out like syllable of dolor.
What I believe I'll wail, what no believe, and what I can redress I will. What you have spoke, it may be so perchance. This tyrant was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is.
I have lost my hopes.
Why in that rawness left you with wife and child? You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country. Fare thee well, lord. I would not be the villain that thou thinkest for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp.
Be not offended. I speak not in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head, or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that, when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, sudden, malicious smacking of every sin that has a name, but there's no bottom, none, in my voluptuousness. A better Macbeth than such an one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is a tyranny. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty. We have willing dames enough.
With this there grows, in my most ill-composed affection, such a staunchless avarice that, were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, and my more-having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more.
This avarice sticks deeper. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath foisons to fill up your will. All these are portable with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces, as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting it many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of Concord into hell.
Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. Oh, nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptred, when shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne by his own interdiction stands accursed, and does blaspheme his breed? Fare thee well. These evils thou repeatest upon thyself have banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power. But God above deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. I never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine own, at no time broke my faith. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old Seward, with 10,000 warlike men already at a point, was setting forth. Now we'll together. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile. Oh, see who comes here.
My countryman.
My ever-gentle cousin. Welcome hither.
Good God, betimes remove the means that makes us strangers.
Sir, amen.
Stand Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing, but who knows nothing, is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead men's knell is there, scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps. Dying, or ere they sicken?
Oh, relation too nice, and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age, doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well, too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace?
No. They were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a miser of your speech, how goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief rather witnessed the rather. For that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort we are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good sword, and 10,000 men. An older and a better soldier none that Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like. But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe. Though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it!
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered.
Merciful heaven.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence! My wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted.
He has no children. All my pretty ones, did you say all? Oh, Hellkite, all? What? All my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?
Beaut like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself. Within my sword's length set him. If he scape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 nights watched with you and can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field. I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
A great perturbation in nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
Oh, you may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense is shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her, to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes to her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn spout, I say. 1, 2. Why then, time's to do it. Hell is murky. 5 for shame. Yet, who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where's she now? Well, will these hands never get clean?
You go to, you have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not, I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia cannot sweeten this little hand. Oh.
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep, who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so.
Oh, to bed. There's a knocking at the gates. Come, give me your hand. Oh, it's done. Cannot be undone. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff.
Near Burnham Wood shall we well meet them. That way are they coming.
What does the tyrant?
Oh, great Dunsinane, he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad. Others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury.
Now does he feel his secret murder sticking on his hands. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
Well, march we on to give obedience where 'tis.
Make we our march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood removed to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth, no man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gotst thou that goose look?
There's 10,000.
Geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence. Satan!
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Give me mine armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, put thine armor on. Give me my staff. Satan, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health. What rhubarb cyme or what purgative drug shall scour these English hence? Hast thou heard of them?
Aye, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham force come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby we shall shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery in report of us.
It shall be done.
Hang out our banners on our outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie.
Ah!
Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. It would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. The poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard of no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Well, let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within 3 miles may you see it coming. I say, a moving grove.
Fear not, till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes towards Dunsinane. Arm! Arm and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there's no flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell. Blow wind. Come, rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough, you, worthy uncle, shall, with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall take upon's what else remains to do.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake, I cannot fly. but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
Thou'lt be afeard to hear it.
No, though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest. Ha!
Thou wast born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face! If thou beest slain, and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight.
We have met with foes.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword?
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword. Ugh.
Ugh. Ugh. Ah. Thou losest labor. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of women born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee, Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be that tongue that tells me so. That keeps the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole, and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield. To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet. Though Burnham Wood be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, be of no woman born, yet I'll try the last. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough! Ah!
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off. And yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He lived, but till he was a man.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, but then it hath no end.
Why then God's soldier be he. He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, hail, King of Scotland!
My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who as 'tis thought by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us, By the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time and place. So, thanks to all at once and to each one, whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere there's such a sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with